Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the stream. The market just opened, and so far the SPY's actually holding up pretty well today. I appreciate everybody joining up this morning, but yeah, the market's doing pretty well actually. A lot of growth stocks are holding up okay. It's always good to see DraftKings open up 2.3%. I'll always take that, of course, and it's having a pretty nice pop here at open. Hopefully it can continue up here. But as far as like stocks to my watch list to the upside this morning, guys, we have CrowdStrike actually leading the way. Look at this stock break out here, up 7.8%. I know we had that big news overnight with Elon Musk and Tesla, of course. I don't think that's going to affect Tesla's stock all that much, but Elon does have some sexual assault allegations against him right now, and it seems like a pretty big hit piece. So we'll have to see what happens, but we'll definitely cover this in a minute. But yeah, SPY is going crazy here. It's sitting right around 394. We honestly hit that high of yesterday in pre-market today, so we're not really breaking out too much. Actually, I don't know what just happened on the SPY with this 1 minute candle. Maybe we are going to start breaking out, guys, because this was not just here a second ago, and then I don't know what just happened, but this big wick just extended up on this 1 minute candle here. I don't know if this is like a glitch or if we had a weird print or what exactly happened, but wow, I mean, that is a big wick there, guys. We must have had some really weird fill, like up at like 397 or something, because wow, that's a very weird 1 minute candle we're seeing there. But NIO is still flying up. I know NIO, BABA, even Baidu, XPEV, other stocks like that were flying up yesterday as the China stocks actually did pretty well. And so far today, NIO is actually up quite a bit, guys, up 4.7%. I know that it was up around that much yesterday, but still, I mean, it is flying up here in pre-market. And I know now that the market opened, it's kind of coming back down a little bit, but still, it's up quite a bit. Looks like XPEV had some crazy movement at open, along with FSLR. Look at FSLR. This stock is actually gapping up in a pretty nice way. If we look at FSLR on the max daily chart, it's actually down around a pretty big support, like down there around $60. So yeah, I mean, so far, great movement today, guys. Zoom's back up into the green again, up 2.4%. We'll always take that. I saw stocks like Facebook were running up today. Pfizer's up. Even like Visa's up, and I know they were kind of falling off yesterday morning, so it's nice to see these credit card companies coming back. Looks like BABA's doing pretty good with the China plays, like I said earlier. As far as stocks going down today, though, I actually will say Asana, which is one of my favorite stocks, is actually starting to fall off a little bit. I've been really eyeing this one up with the insider Dustin Moskovitz putting $1 billion into the stock, but yeah, it looks like it is kind of pulling back today, kind of leading my watch list down. We also have Boeing to the downside along with Snowflake. So some stocks are still moving down, but the majority of my watch list is in the green, which is awesome. I'm noticing even X or US Steel is starting to get some pretty good momentum here, which is interesting. I know that this stock has been flying up over the past couple years with inflation, but lately it's been kind of dipping back. So I wonder if X will be a pretty good dip buy over the next few weeks, maybe. Who knows? This was a pretty big pullback we saw from 39 straight back down to like 24. I mean, man, that was very drastic. But then again, so was their run up there for a couple months. But so far today, guys, it's been crazy movement. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks you, Mike. Sean says, "Let's go." Judging from way afar, my gut says it's a Musk smear campaign. George says, "Good morning." Hunter, good morning. Jamie, Raymond, thank you guys so much. Everybody, good morning. George says, "I don't see that glitch on TradingView with the SPY." So that's good to see, George. I'm glad that you pointed that out for me there. Yeah, I know sometimes Thinkorswim will have these weird glitches or these weird little prints like this, and you'll see a very weird extension to the upside. And I don't know what happened. Maybe Thinkorswim allowed a certain fill, or who knows, but it definitely looks weird on the chart there. That's for sure, George. Michael says, "Good morning. In your opinion, what's the best inverse wheat play for the long term?" For the long term, Michael, I'm trying to think here. I mean, I'm not too big into like the wheat. I know I look at wheat futures sometimes given /ZW. I'm kind of thinking in my head with wheat maybe like some wheat futures, like you could like short the futures maybe. I'm not sure, Michael, but that could be a way to go. That might be what I did if I was going to try to play wheat directly. Um, Let me look up some wheat ETFs. Maybe we can find some good ETFs that follow wheat. I mean, there is WEAT, of course. I mean, I knew that one, but I'm wondering if there's any more, honestly. I don't know too much about different wheat stocks. I will say, you do have the wheat ETF, there's the corn ETF. Man, I'm trying to see. There's some grains ETFs as I'm seeing, like JJG apparently. Like a little grain ETF. It looks like let's see, anything else revolving around grain or wheat. There is DBA, which is like an agriculture fund. Overall, I would say like if you just shorted DWE or WEAT, I think that would probably be the way to go. Just keep in mind, that wheat is a commodity, so it's going to be moving in a lot of different ways than stocks are. Keep in mind seasonal issues and stuff like that also can hurt wheat or help wheat. But I will say, I think shorting wheat's not a bad way to go. It looks like it's pretty high as far as the wheat ETF. Maybe if you just shorted the ETF or got some puts, that might be a good way to go. Just keep in mind that IV is always going to come into play here. But, like if wheat pulled down to its recent like little lows here, it's a nice like 17% pullback just on the shares. So that's honestly not too bad if you're looking for a little short play. But overall, I'm not too big into the wheat sector myself, Michael. I know I've traded a lot in the past with like soybeans. I've traded a lot with gold. The S&P 500 futures I've traded a lot. I actually used to be big into copper futures. That was one of my favorite ones, was like copper, gold, silver, those types of metals. Even like platinum and palladium and stuff are interesting. But yeah, thank you for the question though, Michael. Definitely. Good morning, Vicky. Thank you so much. Michael says, sorry to put the pressure on. Thanks for looking for me. I couldn't find an inverse on it, so I figured it could rise quite a bit. Yeah, I think it could too, Michael. It actually looks like /ZW is pretty high here. Yeah, I'm just not too big into the wheat sector myself. I know I deal a lot more with these like sports gambling stocks and just stocks in the market rather than the commodities. But I will say, Michael, if you're interested in trading commodities, I would go check out Kelly Garner's commodity trading book. It's made by Kelly Garner. She's a pretty good writer, and she goes all through like different cycles, like for example, different, I guess you would say, like yearly cycles with these commodities, how like some commodities do better in the summer while some do better in the winter, and things like that. So you could always find a good book on those futures. Let's see. Square says good morning. Hunter says Tom keeps going on about silver and gold. He's gonna start singing like Kirk Franklin. That is hilarious. Kirk Franklin, man. I haven't seen that guy in a while. That is hilarious, Hunter. Man, he's a pretty funny guy. I've seen some stuff with that guy. Nothing too crazy, but I've heard him sing like once or twice. I know he has some awards, but man, you got me laughing out here. So, all right, guys, I think we'll go ahead and get into Tesla now and all the sexual assault allegations. So, first off, let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts on this situation with Tesla and Elon Musk, because, there's a lot of different controversial opinions with this. And, so we have a flight attendant coming out and accusing Elon Musk of sexual assault. Apparently he he whipped something out on an airplane and was trying to coerce the flight attendant. Apparently said he'd buy her a horse in exchange for an erotic massage. So I don't know, guys. It's right here in the CNBC article here. He calls them wild accusations. But there's a lot of stuff coming out with this company. Apparently, they paid $250,000 in severance to the flight attendant to settle the allegation. So that definitely doesn't look good. Musk told Insider there was a lot more to the story as well. So, there could be a lot more coming out with this right now. But I just want to say, Elon Musk is, he's a very controversial figure lately, especially with Twitter and everything like that. He did also say on Twitter over the past couple weeks, he straight up said that the political attacks will start to increase on him. I'm actually going to scroll down here and find him really quick. So you can see all these things about him. In the past, he was a Democrat. Now he will vote Republican and all that stuff. And people are hating him for it. They're hitting on him. They're coming out with these wild allegations now. And look at this. Just a couple days ago on May 18th, he said, political attacks on me will escalate dramatically in the coming months. Literally 2 days, 2 whole days after Elon says this, we get sexual assault allegations. I don't know about you guys. It definitely seems like a bit of a political attack on me, but that's just my opinion. Elon said last night we get to use Elongate as a scandal name. It's kind of perfect. That is hilarious, guys. Yeah, look, Elon said back on March 25th of 2021, if there's ever a scandal about me, please call it Elongate. that sounds hilarious, guys. Elon he's a character for sure, but I don't know if this is real or if it's fake or what it is, but hopefully you guys have some good opinions and let me know in the comments, guys, because come on, I know you guys have to be thinking something about Elon here. Like, is this real? Is it not real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think Elon is a pompous ass? Do you think he's nice? Do you think he's a great CEO? Like, just throw it in the comments. Whatever you guys feel, it'll definitely help me kind of get a judge on how everybody feels regarding this situation. But to me, it kind of seems like it's a bit of like a hit piece. Obviously, I like Elon Musk, so I might have a bit of a biased opinion here, but I will say that I like everything he's done and everything that he's been saying over the past few weeks. I will say this report is definitely not good, though. It's a negative report, and I hope that these accusations do not keep happening. Looks like he just actually tweeted he's super excited to be in Brazil for the launch of Starlink for 19,000 unconnected schools in rural areas and environmental monitoring of the Amazon. So that definitely sounds interesting. It's very, very interesting. And Hunter says, I feel like $250,000 is low for something that might seem like there's more to the story. That is a really good point, Hunter. Actually, that is kind of true. 250 grand isn't really that much for such a weird situation like this. So, that is kind of true. But I will say, I guess to like a flight attendant, that might be a lot of money. But I don't know. I have no idea. But that's definitely an interesting thing to look at there, because you would think that someone who is worth hundreds of billions of dollars would front a little bit more, if they really thought they would be getting in trouble for something. But yeah, he said that they are utterly untrue. That was one of the tweets that came out last night. The funny thing that came out to me was, it says he touched her thigh without her consent and offered to buy her a horse if she performed sex acts. I was sitting here reading this last night and I was just cracking up, guys. I mean, she said if he bought her a horse, she'd perform sex acts. I'm sitting there just like, what is going on? Like the stuff with Elon now is just getting so crazy. It's like, man, this is just it's just insane to do. He says, if I were inclined to engage in sexual harassment, this is unlikely to be the first time in my entire 30-year career that it comes to light, he says. Political motivated hit piece. So that is kind of true. You would think that there would be other circumstances of him having issues. I will say, though, he was with Elon Musk was with Amber Heard, guys. So keep that in mind. He's probably not the most normal individual in the background, and kind of like what he said on Saturday Night Live. Like, what did you expect? Did you expect me to be a normal dude? Like, he straight up said it himself. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot more to the story, and I'll definitely be curious to see all the other stuff that comes out. But yeah, hopefully Elon does well, and I hope Tesla's stock continues to hold up okay. So far today, it's still in the green barely, but you can see ever since pre-market, it's really been falling back down. And I will say Tesla's stock has not been looking hot over the past couple months. I mean, it's been looking brutal, guys. Like, let me know how you guys feel in the comments about Tesla's stock, because we're sitting like right around this $700 support. Like, do you guys think that we're going to hold on this support, or do you think that this sexual assault news might push the stock even lower? Because as we know, Tesla's been going down in general. Even though Tesla, they reported really good earnings, or in my opinion, I love their earnings whenever they reported them a couple weeks ago. And then now the stock just kept tanking off after that one initial uptrend. So I don't know. I feel like their stock is all over the place, but I will say we're right at that $700 support. It's going to be a very key level here over the next couple days, and I'm really curious to see if Tesla is going to hold this level or if we're going to start tanking down. And I have a bad feeling if Tesla starts tanking down, it might start bringing the SPY back down along with like Apple, Microsoft, and a few of those other stocks. So far today, though, Apple is holding up a lot better than it did yesterday. Apple was actually kind of going down yesterday, guys, believe it or not. It was down to lows of 136.60, and it was down at least I think 2% at the low. So it had a pretty big pullback, but so far today, Apple's holding up a lot better, along with Microsoft, which is interesting. So that's good to see. I'm glad that these stocks are definitely holding up. That's a good thing for the SPY, and that gives me some confidence with the SPY. Maybe the SPY will start to pop back up today. If we can start breaking above that high of yesterday, maybe right around 394.50 or somewhere really close to that, I feel like SPY could start to have a pretty good uptrend back to the upside. Hunter says, I think if Elon would have gave her like 5 mil instead of 250K, the stock would have fallen today, but 250K makes me think they're just lying about what happened. That's just me though. Yeah, I could see that. That does seem like a bit of a small number, especially for someone as big as Elon. Like, you would think that he would be more open to maybe, giving more money, obviously. And yeah, you would definitely think, if it was going to be something about sexual assault or something, that he would, pay more. But yeah, I definitely feel you there. And I think that the situation overall is just crazy. Like, he straight up said 2 days ago that they would increase political attacks on him, and then what happens over the course of 2 days? It only took 2 days, and then they start hitting him with sexual assault. What I found out is it seems like every time that there's a Republican out there, they find something on him with sexual assault. Like, the governor of Missouri was Eric Greitens, and they hit him with some really big like sexual assault stuff, so much that he had to actually resign, believe it or not. And then they hit Donald Trump with all that stuff. They hit Kavanaugh with that stuff. They're hitting Elon Musk now with sexual assault. I keep telling people, like, are they ever going to try some new tricks? Like, it's like, if you say sexual assault every single time that a Republican goes into office, it just, I don't know, like, do you guys believe that every single Republican out there running for office is like doing these things? I don't know. I have no idea, but if I were to guess, I would guess that not all of them were true. Now, I do say, I'm sure some things are true, but it's such a weird situation. There's always things out there with like sexual assault and everything. It's like, geez, like, is our media like messed up or something? It seems like that's like all they talk about. It's it's kind of annoying. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that it's getting a little bit old, but to me it kind of is. But let's see. Square says Elon will always be a target. Yeah, he will. That's the thing. He didn't used to be a target. It seems like ever since he started, trying to go to Mars, and ever since he got political is when he became the target. But yeah, I hope that Elon helps open up some people's eyes, maybe to how some of these political movements and parties and stuff like that operate, because it's it's been a little rough over the past couple years. I will say I feel like a lot of people have been getting pretty angry. But yeah, looking at Tesla here, it's falling back down, kind of gonna retest $700. So definitely a big move today. And don't forget to hit that like button, guys. If you guys have not liked the stream yet, definitely like it up. Like it so Elon Musk can be happy. If we get enough likes, maybe Elon will maybe he'll come out and refute these charges or something. That would definitely be hilarious. Hit some likes for Elon. Hopefully we can help him get some good support here. I know we're not going to do too much, but nonetheless, hopefully Tesla's stock keeps going up. So hit that like button for Tesla's stock. It's a big stock, and I know a lot of people are buying it and holding it for the longer term. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that right now, but I will say I do like Tesla for the next 5 to 10 years. I think they can still have some pretty good upwards movement. Just I'm not buying in right now. I think it'll be maybe a good buying opportunity over the next few months. After the Fed's done with this little rate hike cycle and stuff like that, I think it could get a little bit better here. But yeah, let's go back to the SPY actually. Let's go check them out, see how they're doing today. Yeah, really just sitting here stagnant, not really too much movement on the S&P 500. Looks like the NASDAQ is about the same way. Nothing too crazy. We consolidated like right around that high of yesterday at like 294. So seems like that's a pretty big level there. But yeah, if you guys have any stocks you want me to cover, if you guys see any stocks moving or any big trades, like if you guys are trading anything today, let me know. I'll pull up the stock on the watch list and we can go ahead and see how it's moving and give it some good I guess I could say some good intraday analysis. We could even do some longer term analysis too if you guys really want to. But yeah, so far today some stocks are coming back. Like Facebook has been really explosive this morning. I know somebody asked me about Facebook puts in the Discord chat yesterday. I'm glad that I said not to get those because man, Facebook really started flying up. It's up like 3% now. It's going back on a pretty good uptrend, I'll say. It's not looking bad. We're coming back up and we're retesting $200. Yeah, it looks pretty good actually with Facebook. Hopefully it can continue up all throughout the day today. It was already up like 3%. So keep in mind it could be having a bit of a pullback now, but it had that really nice run up there at market open. Looks like good old Zoom is at the top of my watch list, up 2.5%. It's not leading or anything, but it's definitely up a little bit. Looks like CRWD or good old CrowdStrike here is having a pretty decent move. It's up 6.8%. Nothing too crazy. We have Pfizer. Pfizer's still breaking out actually, guys. It's up 3.4%, but it continued to move. Some stocks are up 7%, but they're kind of pulling back, whereas Pfizer still has some good momentum. So yeah, it's looking still pretty hot here with Pfizer. Definitely throw this one on your watch list, guys. I mean, it might not be a good one to buy right now, but if you see some movement later on, it could be a pretty good intraday pickup. Looks like Twitter's actually coming up too, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Twitter's moving. This is pretty cool actually. So Twitter's starting to come back up. I know that the Twitter board has been saying that the Twitter deal is going on as expected for $54.20. They said that they don't want to restructure or reprice the deal, and I think they said that they won't. So I don't know. We'll have to see what they end up doing in the end with the Twitter deal. But hopefully the stock starts moving back up closer to $54.20. That would make the most sense if it did keep moving up towards $54.20. So hopefully we keep seeing that good movement back up with Twitter stock. I think we could see it, and overall Twitter stock is pretty good. Let's see. Oh wow, Slick Messi says, "What's up, Tom? Shout out Hunter. I guess Mike is working on Elongate scandal today. LOL." Yeah, what's good, Slick? Yeah, I've been doing the live streams for by myself now for about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Mike's been working on some code and working on getting some stuff going in the Discord for a little while. So yeah, Slick, been by myself here, but yeah, come join me every morning if you want. We're here every day. We're covering stocks and checking them out. Yeah, Mike is working on Elongate. How'd you know? He's calling up Fox News as we speak. So it's a pretty big thing going on there. But yeah, thanks for joining up, Slick. Long time no see. Glad to see you in the stream here today. Glad to see you join up. But yeah, SPY is not really doing too much for us today, Slick. I will say the only stocks really running up are, CrowdStrike, which is up like 8%. I will say CrowdStrike has some pretty good momentum here. Looks like it's coming back. We might try to break out up above this recent candle at like 155.75. Yeah, it actually has a lot of momentum. I'll just leave this one on the watch list or on the chart here for a second because I kind of believe that we're going to see a bit of a push up and through that upper, I guess you could say that upper resistance level here because this stock has a lot of momentum, guys. And I know it's already up 8%, but I think I could see it having a decent breakout, if we do end up running a little bit more. I think it could definitely happen today. But yeah, Slick, let me know what stocks you're watching today. I know you're always looking at the market and everything like that. let's see. Peter says Apple looking great to break $140, and the $140 calls are cheap. Let's see that. AAPL. Yeah, let's see this. Yeah, it does look like that, Peter. It is. It's actually starting to break out right now. Actually, good call out there. Hopefully it keeps running. You know, Apple's been kind of beaten down for the past couple days. I would not be surprised if we ran up towards that high of yesterday at least, maybe up around like 141, 141.50. I could see us hitting that today pretty good. So hopefully we keep running up for you, Peter, because that's a pretty good breakout, I'll say. You know, it's not bad. Let me check out some of these Apple calls, actually. AAPL. Let's see what these calls are looking like here. Let's see, the 140 strike calls. Yeah, the ones expiring on June 17th are going for like $570. So, you know, you're paying $570. They're about a month out. Not too bad, you know, not too bad. Not the best, though. You know, they're only up like 23% today. I'm guessing you mean maybe the ones for next week. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, even the Apple calls for next week are like $325. Maybe you meant the ones today. Yeah, the ones today are pretty cheap. You know, they're at like $118 or so. But those are going to be tough ones to trade. You know, they're like right around the money. And you know, as we go on today, I'm sure that those options are going to start going crazy, especially if we were a little bit under 140. I'm sure by lunchtime those options are going to start going all over the place. But hopefully it keeps running up today, Peter. Looks like we are pulling back a little bit right now, but I will say I think that this one has a good chance to keep going up today. We've had some pretty brutal red days back to back on Apple, so I think we could have a bit of an uptrend. I really like those calls, actually. I think that's a pretty decent trade to go at. Yeah, he said 0 DTE, so yeah, somewhere right around like 100, 130 bucks or something then. Not bad. George says AI breaking out from resistance. Let's see. Good old AI. Yeah, it is actually, George. Great call out. Breaking above like 1850. Yeah, that's having a really good run up today, actually. Let's look at that AI daily chart here, because I really love this daily chart, guys. Like on AI, Asana, and a few other stocks, they're setting up just like this. So the stocks ran up. They had 3 consolidation days. Now they're starting to break back out. AI's doing it. Asana is trying to do it. We have Palantir attempting to do it too. These stocks are in like the same exact daily setup. So check them out, guys. They're moving in sympathy with each other. And it seems like every single day, they're all having the same exact movement. Palantir, Asana, what was the other one? Palantir, Asana, and AI. They all look like the same here. So just throw them on the watch list. I feel like that, you know, like we're seeing AI starting to break out. I think these could have some pretty good moves here, guys. I mean, I'm not sure that we're going to run up, you know, like I'm not sure AI is going to close today up like 8% or anything, but, you know, I could definitely see a couple more percent of like uptrend here. Like I would not be surprised if AI went up like 5% or something like that. I could see that happening. J Deep says missed out on Cole's puts, KSS. Let's see. Oh, wow. Were you going to buy some yesterday, J Deep, like at the end of the day or something? That could have been a pretty good play, I guess. I will say Kohl's was moving pretty well after their earnings yesterday, but they were getting beaten down with Target and, you know, Walmart and everything like that, of course. But yeah, I guess you did miss out on that, J Deep. But I will say, pretty good movement to the downside today out of Kohl's. So thanks for pointing that one out. Down 8%. So definitely getting volatile here. Their IV's actually up above 100% now. Yeah, look at the daily chart of their IV here, J Deep. This is nuts actually. It went from 42% at like the end of March. Now they're all the way up to 108%. So yeah, that is some pretty crazy movement there with Kohl's, but overall, you know, it's not the worst. Thanks for pointing that out though, JD, because I'm sure those retailers are going to be nuts over the next couple days, like Target, Walmart, Kohl's, Costco. They've all been tanking off. Costco's still down today. Like, man, this stock goes down every single day now, it seems like. I would think it would start to slow down soon here. Looks like Costco might try to have like a second move back down. Looks like we might try to go down and retest maybe like $400 or something like that. It seems like that might be a little bit of like a possibility today here with Costco. But yeah, definitely let me know how you guys feel about some of these retailers. I feel like for the longer term, they'll be pretty good to buy up over the next couple months. It's just, you know, how low are they going to go in the short term is my only question, because man, we've been seeing some stocks really fall off lately in a pretty big way. So it's been pretty brutal. Let's go back to Tesla really quick and see how they're doing. Wow, Tesla's actually down around $700 right now. Broke below it momentarily and seems like it's kind of like having trouble holding this. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how Tesla moves, but it seems like it's having trouble holding. And I would think that throughout the day today, it might keep falling down, especially down to that low of yesterday in pre-market, right around 689.50. Seems like that was a pretty big support level on Tesla, but you know, if we end up breaking that, I think we could have a pretty good move to the downside, you know, especially with all this news going on with Elon and the sexual assault and everything like that. I think that could definitely affect Tesla's stock in a negative way. I did want to point out, though, that Apple is still holding its ground. You know, I know I always talk about Tesla today, and you know, we're talking about a few other stocks, but some of these bigger stocks like Apple and Microsoft are doing quite well, actually. You know, I mean, this is pretty good for Apple. It's nothing crazy, but it's always good to see them up in the green around 2%. Hopefully they continue moving up today and break that high, like right around 140.35. If we break that, I mean, who knows? It could have a possible intraday run back to the upside. I think that's definitely possible out of Apple today. Looks like it does have some pretty good intraday movement going on. Excuse me, sorry, I had to get a quick drink there, but yeah, Apple is really starting to run up. It's actually now breaking out, so that's good. You know, it's running back. I wonder how Microsoft looks intraday today. It's actually not breaking out yet, but who knows? Maybe it'll follow along with Apple and start to break out here over the next few months, or a few minutes, I should say. Not few months, of course, but I could definitely see Microsoft running up over the next few hours, maybe, if we continue up with this good movement. It looks like Apple was just starting to do that, which is great. As far as other stocks moving today, guys, I mean, throw them down in the comments. Anything you want me to cover, whether it's Elon's sexual assault or whether you want me to check out price action on like Unity or Facebook or anything like that, definitely down to do that today. Looks like Unity is actually pulling back, believe it or not. I know they were running up yesterday in a pretty big way, along with a lot of the other metaverse stocks like Matterport and a few others. Talking about Matterport, it's actually not looking too bad today, but going back over to Unity here, it's looking a little bit rough. Let's actually I think I'm noticing a bit of a setup here on Unity today. Let's go ahead and draw this out and see like how this ends up playing, because yeah, you know what, actually the drawing didn't work out as good as I thought. but it doesn't look bad. You know, that could be a bit of like a little wedge here going on intraday, maybe. Yeah, I mean, maybe yeah, it could be. Let's see here. It's not as defined of a setup as I would like to see personally, but you know, it's not too bad. You know, I mean, it definitely seems like the stock's kind of moving along these trend lines. As we know, though, trend lines they don't always dictate stock price, of course, and everything like that. It can give some good references though visually and stuff like that to look at. Going over to the SPY though, I will say the SPY on the 1 hour daily chart is still below its trend line, so we can see the SPY actually had some pretty good technical movement here. So if you guys are into technicals, this has been a pretty big trend line on the SPY. I know trend lines don't always work, and you know, always take them with a grain of salt, but look at how SPY bounced twice on this trend line. It hit the trend line back on like May 4th, May 5th, and then it hit the trend line again earlier this week on May 17th, and then we started tanking off to the downside in a pretty big way ever since we hit that trend line again. And I'm curious to wait until we get a nice pop up back through this trend line. I have a feeling we might start breaking through this trend line right whenever we're breaking out back above $400 a share. And I think that could be a pretty big trade, because $400 is a big psychological level. And if the SPY breaks out above 400, I think we could start to see some pretty big intraday moves back to the upside here. I think it's definitely possible. And it might not happen today, of course. You know, we're pretty far away from 400, and I don't see that happening today. It would be more of over the next few days, maybe even next week. But we'll have to see how the price action goes. Hopefully it starts to break back out, because a lot of stocks are getting beaten down, and I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait for this recovery back up with stocks. I mean, it's been a long time. Corey says, I'm buying the Tesla dip. Nice. Let's go check that out. Good old Tesla. Corey, are you buying that for the long term, or are you day trading it? Are you day trading Tesla? Definitely let me know, because definitely a bigger, like, that's a big difference if you're day trading it compared to if you're buying it for the long term. I will say, if you're buying it for the long term, hopefully you're averaging in, because averaging in is always a good way to go. And if the price goes down, you can make your average price also go down, which is good. So like if you bought Tesla now at 700, of course if it falls to 500, you might be able to like average yourself into maybe 600. Like you might end up with an average price of 600 a share, maybe like 550 or something like that, if it keeps going down and you keep averaging in. But yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that like button today. I'll definitely appreciate it. We've had a pretty good week so far. It's been pretty good with DraftKings and lots of stocks holding up. So yeah, smash that like button. I'll really appreciate it. Maybe we'll get back up to 20 likes or something like that, like we did yesterday. It would definitely help out here. But yeah, so far as Tesla, DraftKings, lots of stocks go, they're kind of pulling back down. They looked like at market open, a lot of these stocks were going to hold up, but now my watch list is slowly moving more and more back down into the red, which is a little bit unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that we'd see the opposite movement here with these stocks today, but we can't always go up. So I do understand it in that sense that, of course some stocks are going to fall, but there is a lot of growth stocks running. So I was hoping like maybe DraftKings would be up. I was hoping Unity would also be moving back to the upside. Let's see, Unity looks like it's actually been moving between our wedge just perfectly about. It hit the top of that wedge again, and now it's starting to break down below it. So we'll have to see if this stock can continue down or not. I'm curious to see, we're starting to break below this wedge here, if it's going to continue. Sometimes it might have one or two candles, then fake out and explode up. I've definitely seen it do that before, so definitely be careful with this. But it looks like we might have a bit of an accelerated move now to the downside. Yesterday was a really good play with Costco, and it really ran up a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we gave back some gains today. But man, Costco's been brutal lately. Like, look at the max daily chart. It has been brutal. But, over the past week, we have seen a lot of green. So I guess we could just be giving back some of that momentum. But yeah, look at this, guys. It's now extending down even more, and it played perfectly on this range here. This would have been a pretty good intraday scalp, actually, if you would have gotten it pretty quickly, and it's still actually playing out. So not bad here. Let's see. Peter says, yeah, can't always go up. Guess we can settle for a seventh red week in a row. LOL. Yeah, that is pretty funny, Peter. I will say it is funny. The SPY has been down a lot. The market has been really tanking. Look at the SPY now, actually. It's really actually falling off, guys. It's starting to break down in a big way. Maybe SPXS or something like that might be a pretty good stock to try to play today. It looks like SPXS always has crazy moves overnight and stuff, but if you can day trade this one and you can catch it when it gets momentum, it makes for some really, really good trades, and it has pretty good price action throughout the day. As long as you're catching it at the right time, just make sure you're catching it on a time when the SPY's falling. If that SPY reverses on you, you better get out of that one quick, because SPXS is a very volatile stock, as we can see by this chart here. I mean, look at the intraday moves yesterday with SPXS. Here, let's actually see. So we fell down 2.6%. We flew up 3.3%. We fell back down again, another 4%. And then at the end of the day, we rose up another 4% again. Like, this is just insane movement. It was like a heartbeat monitor yesterday, and today it's just going pretty much straight up. So pretty crazy. Yeah, Peter says UVXY looking good. Yeah, it really is. It's looking hot, just like how SPXS is looking. It's starting to, run up here intraday. I will say I think I like SPXS's movement a little bit better, but if that SPY keeps falling down, both of these should end up going up, and I think it'll make for some pretty good day trades. Like I said, as long as you're able to catch these trades at the right time, I think that you could have some pretty good moves out of these. So yeah, thanks Peter for pointing out UVXY and kind of going back to the SPY. You said the 7th red week in a row, but what I want to point out is while we might have 7 red weeks in a row, look at how many green weeks we must have had. I mean, honestly, like even though the SPY is down, we're still up a lot. Like we still need to fall off a little bit more, in my opinion, to make it normal. I know that we're already down quite a bit, but I think I could see even more downwards movement. I hope we don't, but I think that we can see it go down a little bit more, in my opinion. Yeah, Hunter just hit it on the head. He said those stocks like Costco and Target were so insanely overvalued for so long. It's nice to see them finally coming down, and yeah, that is nice to see, Hunter. And it's going to keep dragging down the markets if they keep falling. So I hope that eventually these stocks settle down. But for right now, they're still kind of falling, and I feel like the SPY could go a little bit lower. I don't think this is going to be the bottom on the market yet. I think we still have some volatility to go. I could always be wrong, and I hope I am, but that's just my opinion on the SPY. But yeah, like Hunter said, Walmart, Target, lots of those stocks were so overvalued for so long, and I feel like it was like Hunter, help me come up with some reasons as of why they were so overvalued. I think that what happened is people they started looking at those companies as just the ultimate stocks for safety, and I think a lot of people just started flowing into those plays and driving them up over the past 5 to 10 years. Like look at Walmart stock. I'm not saying it's anything crazy like Tesla or anything, of course, but look, we went from somewhere like $90 up to 160 over the course of 3 to 4 years. I mean, that's nothing insane, but that is a pretty big move for a slow moving stock like Walmart. And then you go look at their valuations and everything like that, like their price to sales and everything like that, and it's pretty crazy to see them tanking off this much so rapidly. I would have rather it have been slower and steadier down, but kind of like how you'd prefer a lot of stocks to go down. But it did kind of crash and burn here with those earnings, which was unfortunate. I don't like the way it fell, but yeah, I definitely see why. It was overvalued, and it was honestly getting pretty overextended in the short term too. Let's see. Yeah, Hunter says prices are up so much, I think people assumed they'd crush it. Yeah, I kind of did, Hunter. I was thinking that they would do very well, and they did do pretty well for a little while. They ran up to 160.77, but yeah, those earnings went against them so hard. Yeah, I'm with you. I wonder how many people bought calls and stuff like that. It would be pretty crazy. Hunter says Walmart operates on extremely thin net margins. That's interesting. Let's go see some of those net margins on good old Walmart here. I know Mike looked at some of these in the videos, but I just want to show it for people here. Yeah, look at their net profit margin, 2.25%. That is rough. And you come down here, you'll get their gross profit ratio. It's not really changed too much. Their net income ratio, even their quarterly revenue here. I mean, it hasn't really been growing too much. It's been kind of staying stagnant. I mean, yeah, nothing too telling here, guys. And it even has the most recent one up here. So it's not it's been very stagnant of a company, it seems like. And what I will say is they have been pretty stagnant here over the past, with their revenue, for example, ever since 2020, they haven't really moved too much. And I will say, look at this, ever since 2020, they honestly haven't. Their stock was pretty much staying between 150 and 130 for a whole year and a half. Honestly, look at this. It was staying right where my cursor is for that whole year's time frame, which was pretty crazy. We did start finally breaking out with inflation, but now we're giving those gains right back. So that's crazy. Like he says, they operate on thin net margins. And Mike put out a really good intraday video a couple days ago going in depth into a lot of these companies like Target, Walmart, Costco, and other companies like that. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out that intraday video. Let's see, Hunter says they had very negative free cash flow last quarter. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I remember their earnings came out a few days ago, and there was a whole bunch of reasons why they were, starting to go down. I liked how they said a lot of stuff. Let's see. He says, I don't remember the last time they had negative free cash flow. Yeah, that's not good. But I know that they were also saying like the inflation played a role. They said increased wages played a role. They said that there were issues with overstaffing, which hurt them as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's hurting that cash flow for them, and yeah, it's not good to see, not good at all, and it's really tanking off in a big way. Target too. The one that really caught my eye though, Hunter, was Costco. Like, I was sitting there like, wow, like I didn't expect them to fall off as much as they did. Now, after Walmart and Target did, it became a little bit more of a reality to me, but I'm sitting here watching Costco and I was sitting there in my head like, wow, this was one stock that I thought wouldn't tank down this bad, but yeah, it really did. I thought Costco would hold up a little bit better. I will say though, guys, Costco is a stock that has been really exploding the past couple of years, so I could definitely see why Costco is a little bit more overvalued. But Hunter says they had to dip into their retained earnings to pay their dividends and buy back shares. Wow, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. I know paying dividends has been tough for some companies lately. I remember over the past couple of years, Ford, they cut their dividends for a while, and I think AT&T had cut their dividends, if not even took them away maybe. So kind of crazy. Companies have been having some issues with those dividends lately, like paying them and everything like that. I guess like you said, the cash flow has not been good. I know it's been a little while on Ford and stuff like that though. That was like a year or two ago, but still pretty crazy to see companies cutting dividends and stuff. I hope Walmart don't do that, and I don't think they will because they're so large. I think they'll end up holding up. Peter says this isn't a real market. We would have to come back down to DJI at 28K to be at real levels again pre-COVID. Let's see, DJI or $ DJI. Let's go check that out on the Max Daily. He says come down to 28K to make for regular markets again. Let's see, 28K. Yeah, I could see that. I think if we come down to 30K, I think that could be enough of a dip, Peter. But yeah, I see what you mean. I feel like there could be more of a dip here in the short term. And like whenever you look at price action, you look at like breakouts and stuff like that, like the Dow was really breaking out here. Like this was a big move to the upside over COVID highs. So over the COVID high, at the high of the Dow, it was up 24.94%. That is a lot, guys. Like, the Dow's not supposed to run 24% over 2 years. That's not the normal pace. I know it can, but that's not usually what happens. SPY itself ran up 40%. So it just goes to show you how crazy these stocks have been moving. Let's see how crazy the NASDAQ ran up. The NASDAQ ran up 71%. So yeah, that's pretty big, Peter. These can keep pulling back in some major ways. I think they definitely have some more room to go down. I hope that this is the bottom, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening anytime soon. And, I feel like SPY could easily come down and retest like 375 here over the next couple of weeks, maybe even 350. 350 would make more sense to me. You're getting pretty close to a big level there at 350. And on the Dow, like for example, DJI, when I look at this one on the daily, I think 28K is a decent support, but 30K I think is an even bigger level. Like that's a huge level in people's minds too, and everything like that. Square, I saw you said Deere was tanking. Let's see. Oh, they said, Deere tanking after earnings. Let's see. Yeah, John Deere. Yeah, it's really pulling back here, Square. What I do want to say with John Deere is that John Deere, I'm not going to say that it's like Walmart or like Target, of course, but keep in mind they're another one of those like value stocks. It's not like a Walmart or a Target because they're not like a big retailer, but they are one of those like slower movers generally, and they generally go up like slow and steadily. But ever since COVID, John Deere has really exploded. So I don't know like exactly. I haven't read into their earnings, so I don't know exactly why they're falling off. But what I will say is they're kind of touted into that same grouping of stocks, like for example, Walmart, Target, Caterpillar, John Deere. Like Cat, for example, is another really close one. And all these stocks lately have been kind of falling back off. So it's not too surprising to me to see John Deere falling off. And I hate to see it though, because obviously their stock had been moving pretty well over the past couple years. But you know what I will say with John Deere once again is ever since COVID, this stock boomed up. And what I will say, just on a regular price action standpoint, you have to expect pullbacks at some point. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here with John Deere. It's just having like a nice natural pullback back to the downside. You know, it looks like there's a big support on John Deere down here, right around like $320, $321. So maybe we can bounce there. But yeah, overall, great call out there, Square. It's really fallen off. You know, it's intraday even. It keeps moving down. I know it's earnings, but still, you know, it's some good movement. So thanks for pointing it out. I know I've been actually seeing a lot about John Deere lately. And what's really funny is I'm surprised Hunter hasn't commented this yet about John Deere, is that Kathy Wood owns John Deere of all things. So kind of funny, you know, now John Deere's going down after Kathy buys it. Let me go look it up here. ARKK. We're going to go to Kathy Woods' holdings here. Let's go to her space ETF, ARKX. All right, here's ARKX here. Wow, look, she's actually green on one of these stocks, Hunter. Can you believe it? She's up on AVAV. Only barely, but she's up on it. Wow, remember, Hunter, the other day she was winning on John Deere, but now she's actually down on it. Let me see the, I think it's also an ARKG, is it? Let's see. Nope, it's not ARKG. Was it? Oh, it's ARKQ. That's what it is. ARKQ. John Deere. Oh, okay. Okay. So she's up on it in ARKQ. So her average price in this one is $266.49, whereas in ARKX, her average price is $379.43, and we can see we actually fell below $379 over the past couple days. So looks like she bought another one up there at the highs with John Deere. You know, she was buying into the, let's see, $379. Wow, guys, this is $379 is pretty high on John Deere. Like, man, how do you buy a stock that high? Like, I get that they can keep going, but man, Kathy Woods' plays lately have been insane. Guys, if you guys are mind blown by what Kathy Wood has been doing, hit that like button. You know, smash the like. I've been thinking that she's been crazy the past couple weeks too, past couple months. I know Hunter has been hitting on her for, not hitting on her in a good way either. He's been like smacking her on her positions here over the past, like, you know, 2, 3, maybe even like 6 months. I mean, it's been insane how all these stocks have been going down. And man, she's been brutal lately. Like, even John Deere now starting to tank down the lows. It's really screwing her over here. So yeah, she has not been making good decisions on these stocks. And yeah, I remembered she owned John Deere, so I had to bring it up once I saw that. But overall, let's see her combine stuff with John Deere, because she doesn't own much of it. You know, you can see if we go down her combined portfolio here, it's the 47th stock. It only has a 0.44% weighting overall in her portfolio. So definitely nothing too crazy, but you can see she has those two different positions, and she's losing on one, but she's winning by a lot on the other one. So I guess take that for how you guys want to. But yeah, lots of these stocks, you know, you can see right in this column she's red on, and you know they're all in the red. The only things green are like Vertex Pharmacies, which, have you ever even heard of those? Verisite, never even heard of that one myself, besides when I look at ARC. Trimble. Now I know Trimble, they're a little bit more known, but still, it's pretty crazy to see her down that much. Sean says the only thing that's transitory is Kathy Wood. Yeah, that's pretty funny, Sean. I will say that's pretty realistic. I know I made a meme the other day that was pretty funny with Kathy Wood here. I'll open that up actually. So here's the meme I made. I said stocks always go up. What about COVID, rate hikes, and inflation? Powell said it was transitory. The only thing transitory is Kathy Woods' fame. God damn it, I own all of her stocks. I thought that was a hilarious meme, and You hit it right on the head, Sean. That is funny. She is definitely transitory, and yeah, that is hilarious there. Square says Kathy Wood, buy at the top, sell at the low. Yeah, it seems like that's what she's doing here. Square. I mean, it's kind of insane to see how she's been doing this. Hunter calls her Crashy Wood. Hunter, that's actually a good name, actually, Hunter. You know that could stick. Actually, I'm gonna have to make a meme or something with that in it later. Crashy Wood. I like that, Hunter. Actually, I'm gonna steal that from you. I'm sorry, but I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that one. That's a really funny one, actually. It's pretty low key too. It's one of those like low key disses. You know, it's kind of some people might not even catch it at first, but yeah, Palantir's kind of moving back in the red today. I know, you know, Kathy was talking about that one a lot. What were some of those genomics plays? Like BNGO was the genomics play I always talked about. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I didn't hold BNGO, guys. This would have been rough. I mean, wow, this stock is really falling off. Hunter says he stole Crashy Wood from Twitter. That's funny. Man, Twitter's been funny the past few weeks, Hunter. I will say I've ever since Elon's been talking about it, I've been kind of like getting back into Twitter, and I've been like hopping on there a little bit. It's been kind of fun. But here, let's see the stocks moving with momentum right now. Is there anything starting to maybe pop up? You guys seen anything running with any type of momentum here? I'm not seeing anything too crazy here. Let me see. Stock. Let's see here. Maybe we'll find some big movers today. Let's see. Maybe get some penny stocks. Let's see. LEJU. How's this? Wow, LEJU 22%. Kronos, KRON. Wow, is Kronos moving today, guys? KRON's up 14%. I remember people were talking about this one a lot over the past few months, and this is funny to see them like this. Let's see Palo Alto. I remember some people talking about this one the other day. Let's see, good old Palo Alto. Wow, it actually did pretty good with earnings, which is interesting. I know that's not my, it's definitely not my favorite stock to look at, but that is funny how it's moving up like that. Let's see, we have C Limited kind of running up today. SE is up like 5.7%. That's actually not looking too bad, actually. I will say SE, not bad. How about ZS? Yeah, Zscaler is moving up a little bit today, too. Two stocks that aren't too bad. You know, they're pretty good. I'm not too, like, worried about these ones. I think that they can definitely, you can definitely have some nice intraday plays on these stocks here. Let's see. What about SPY? How are they doing? SPY's kind of tanking off. Costco still moving down. Let's see. Some stocks with momentum here. Maybe Pfizer. Man, they're all kind of starting to pull back a little bit. We're having that little bit of pull. Wow, actually, Netflix is a good one, guys. Look at Netflix. It's actually breaking out intraday. It's breaking above that high of yesterday. It's all the way up to 188, and it's continuing to run, actually. So, looks like Netflix has some momentum. I'm sure Facebook is running up too. Let's see. Facebook is too. Yeah, Facebook's looking pretty good. I will say I like the movement out of some of these plays today. They look pretty hot intraday, and they're starting to have some pretty nice runs of the upside. I really like the way NEO is forming a pretty good bottom here. Maybe we'll see a bit of a comeback intraday, like with NEO, maybe XPEV. Stocks like that might start coming back up, maybe. You know, who knows? Sometimes we see those little dips at market open, and then we start ripping right back to the upside there. So maybe we'll see a nice comeback. Let's see. B Square says, she was pretty good when we were in a bull market. Yeah, that is true. I mean, she was good, Square, at first, but keep in mind, like, she did very, very well for a little while, but the issue was, Square, is that she kept buying these stocks up at the top. So, like, like, she's not holding, like, for example, it would make a lot big of a difference. Like, look here, I'll give the perfect spot on example here of why Kathy Wood went wrong. Because, all right, so here's what I'm going to say. Let's look at Zoom, okay? Just Zoom alone. It's her third highest weighted stock out of all of her stocks, okay? And you can see how all of her stocks are in the red. Now, here's what makes me a little bit angry is look at Zoom, look at her average cost, okay? It's 302 to 308, okay? So let's just say your average cost is like $305 to make it simple, okay? Their average cost is 305 on Zoom. So, Square, here's where it's bad, okay? Look at the price action on Zoom on the max daily chart, okay? You can see we started at like 59, we ran all the way up to 588. So Kathy Wood was probably buying Zoom a little bit on the way up here, okay? And it kept ripping and ripping to the upside, which is great. You know, it's awesome. You know, the stock was ripping up for her. She was probably up a lot. Like at the time, the stock was up at highs, which is okay. You know, she was up quite a bit, and the stock kept going. And the issue is that her average price is right around $305. So let's look on the chart here where $305 is. So $305 is pretty much right where the stock started really breaking out at. So my main thing is that even on like a price action slash charting standpoint, not even on a fundamental standpoint, because as we know, those fundamentals have shown that these growth plays were insanely overvalued. So the fundamentals were definitely off. You know, they were definitely way overvalued at the time. But even on a charting standpoint, you know, the stock, of course, it ran up to 588. But look at how much it had already ran up before her average price. Like the stock was at $60 and ran all the way up to around 300, and her average price is 305. That is a very high average cost on a stock like this. Now, you would think that she would have analysts and different people like that telling her, hey, you know, these stocks are insanely overvalued. They might fall back down a little bit. And the issue is that Kathy also didn't take profits. Instead of taking profits, she continued to buy up around the highs. You know, that's the issue. She wasn't like selling out of these stocks and then buying into gold and silver or, you know, something like that. Like she was still buying all these at the highs, and she's still buying them now. I saw she bought DraftKings a couple weeks ago, and, you know, which is good. You know, she's still buying in, but the main thing is that she, you know, she's buying in at too high of prices, and at some point, you just have to look at it like they made some fundamental mistakes. You know, they didn't look at the fundamentals, obviously. I mean, I'm sure they did, but they probably discounted it too much. And, you know, people always get things caught in their head like, hey, the future is here, you know, genomics is going to be the big next thing in the medical industry. But then what do you know? It takes 5 or 10 years for it to really become useful. So it's kind of crazy, guys. I know I don't want to go on too big of a tangent against Kathy Wood here, but, you know, she's buying at really high prices. Like her average price of DraftKings is at like $40 or $50 too. Like, guys, that's just way too high on these stocks. You know, like it just is. And I understand, you know, you might make some mistakes here or there and, you know, hold some stocks. And that is true. You know, you can't always win on every single stock play, but whenever you go look at her portfolio and you see all of them in the red, I mean, every single one basically is red. Like she's not winning on anything. It just, that's where I kind of, you know, I start scratching my head going like, what is going on here? Like, you know, someone made some mistakes. And, you know, I will say Hunter has been, hitting it on the head for the past couple months in a pretty big money, or in a pretty big way. Hunter says, I wouldn't care if she wasn't managing other people's money and getting a big fee for it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Kathy Wood's probably losing a ton right now. You know, her fund is tanking off. Like, look at this. Her fund is down below pre-COVID levels, but she's probably still making money because of those fees. You know, that's the thing. She's probably still making money. And he goes, and if she didn't go on the news making up ridiculous claims to justify her ungodly, stupid positions. Yeah, you're definitely right. You know, she was doing interviews saying reasons why genomics were good, reasons why Teladoc would go up, you know, reasons why this, reasons why that. But, you know, look at Teladoc now. I mean, guys, it's very, very telling. And, you know, she made some mistakes. I mean, you can't get away from it. You know, no matter how much you love Kathy or you love her positions or anything, you have to sit there and say like, hey, you know, those stocks were just a little bit too overvalued in the short term, and it is what it is. It's part of the market, you know. You can't win all the time, and it's tough. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining up today. Hunter, Sean, Square, of course, Peter, Vicky, Slick Messy. Thanks for joining up, Slick. Michael A. Jamie, thanks for joining. J Deep, Corey. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining up. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's try to get up to 20 likes today. Probably gonna hop off the stream here in a couple of minutes, but figured I'd look at some of the a couple more big runners before I go, I guess. So let's check out CrowdStrike one more time because they're leading my watch list up 8.3%. They are still looking pretty hot here, and if they end up breaking above that high of day, who knows? I think they could end up having a pretty good breakout. Looks like Facebook is starting to slow down a little bit. I know this one was running a couple minutes ago. Netflix was breaking out. Now it is starting to slow down too. So yeah, some stocks are starting to pull back today. Hopefully the big boys like DraftKings and some of these other growth plays end up closing in the green today. It would definitely make for an amazing end to the week. But overall, thank you guys so much for joining today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday.